Yo people, I'm Sean from the Net Ninja and this is HTML Basics Lesson 15, adding JavaScript to your HTML. So, how do we add JavaScript? Well, there's a few different ways and I'm going to give a quick overview first of all before we jump back into the code. So the first way is by using the script tags, and we can place the script tags in either the head or the body, and then we'd write our JavaScript code between the script tags, and then when the page loads it executes the code wherever it finds it in the document. The second way is by linking an external JavaScript file, and we can do that in the head or the body also. So much like we linked an external style sheet, we can do that with JavaScript. The third way is by inline scripting, and again, I'm not a big fan of this third way. Much like with the CSS where we added styles to the tags themselves, we can add JavaScript to the tags themselves. So the reason I'm not a big fan of this is because if you've got a load of different pages with kind of inline scripts on the tags, then when you come to update your website and change these scripts or delete them, it's going to be a big time wasting kind of effort. So for that reason, not a big fan. Some people like doing it, and I suppose if you do it in the correct way, then it's fine. That's just my personal preference. So what we're going to do now is jump back into the code and start adding some script to our file. So here I am back in the index file, and nothing has changed since the last time. And we're going to start adding some scripts. So the first way I mentioned was between the script tags, and I said we can do this in the head or the body, so we'll go ahead and put some in the head first of all. So we open our script tag and we close it off. And by the way, in days gone by, in the advent of the website kind of technology era, we used to have to specify what type of script we were going to employ, and we used to do this by saying type equals JavaScript. These days we don't need to do this anymore because the default script language of websites is JavaScript, so by default it's going to render this as JavaScript. So let's just add a really basic kind of script, and I'm going to use something that we used to always do when websites first started appearing on the internet, and that's the annoying alert script. So this is going to give one of those stupid little pop-ups when we load the page. I'll say, yo ninjas, welcome to my website. And again, you don't need to pay attention to the script that I'm doing. That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to kind of explain how we add JavaScript to a web page. I'm not here to teach you JavaScript, which I'll be doing in a different course entirely. So we'll save that out now, and I'm going to view this in a browser. And there we go, there is the annoying pop-up that we all hate. Right, so as soon as we click OK, it's going to render the rest of the page. So you'll notice something very important here. It didn't render the page until the JavaScript had kind of finished and we'd kind of clicked over that JavaScript. So just bear that in mind when you're doing JavaScript. Now I'm going to show you what happens when we place that same script in the body tag. So I'll copy and paste this, and I'm going to go right down to the bottom of the body. I've already put an empty placeholder script tag here, which I'll delete, and I'll paste this script in. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to view it in a browser again. Okay, so we still get that pop-up, but this time notice that in the background we've loaded that web page, and that's because the browser has encountered this script right at the bottom of the HTML document, at the bottom of the body tag. So it's already rendered all the rest of the web page before it's got to the JavaScript. So good practice would dictate that we always put our JavaScript at the bottom of the body tag. Now that's not always plausible, and I know there's going to be some exceptions, but I'd say to begin with, try to get in the habit of putting your JavaScript at the bottom of your body tag. Therefore, the rest of your page can load first of all before the JavaScript executes. Okay, so that's the script tags. The next thing we'll look at is adding an external script file. So I'm going to copy this here. I'm just going to cut it, and I'll take out those script tags there, and I'm going to save this file. And the next thing I'm going to do is right click in this left pane, create a new folder called scripts, and within the folder I'm going to create a new file called main.js. And within this main.js file I'm just going to copy what I did in the previous example, the alert here. So it's exactly the same script. So we'll go back to our index file now, and we're going to link to this script in our head. And the way we do this is by adding the script tag again, and we just need to specify a source. And in the same way that we specified a source in the href attribute here, we do it in the source attribute here. Now it is slightly different because this is a script tag and this is a link tag, and that's something you're just going to have to remember. Okay, so we link JavaScript with the script tag and we link CSS with the link tag. So within the source, I'm going to find this main.js. So the first thing we want to do is jump into the scripts directory and then put a / and then click the main.js file here. So again, we've put this in the head, so the browser should encounter this script tag and load it in the head and then execute it as if the script was in the head itself. So I'm going to save this file and preview it again in a browser. And there we go, we have the JavaScript pop up once again, coming in before the page loads, and that's because again it's in the head before it's rendered the body. So I'm going to click OK, then it will load the rest of the page. I'm going to jump back into the code and I'm going to take this script tag and I'm going to pop it right at the bottom of the body, just like we did with the previous example. And again I'm going to right click, show in Explorer and preview this. And now you can see that the document's loaded with the exception of the image for some reason, and I think that's just because it's taken a little longer to download the image before it's got to the script tag at the bottom. But again, best practice dictates that you should put your scripts maybe at the bottom of the body tag. Like I say, not always the case, there's some exceptions to this rule, but as a beginner I'd always recommend popping your scripts in the bottom of your body tag. Okay, so that's the first two methods. Finally, we're going to have a look at some inline scripting. So first of all, I'm going to delete that script tag at the bottom so that doesn't interfere with anything. And then what I'm going to do is pop an inline script on this A tag right here in the navigation. And I'm going to say that when someone clicks this A link, I want the alert to come up. And we do this with JavaScript events. And one such event is onClick. So I'm saying on click of this anchor tag, this anchor link, I want this JavaScript to happen. So I'm going to paste in, not that, I'm going to go to our main.js, copy this, and pop this back in our JavaScript here. I'm just going to have to change these double quotes here to single quotes, just because if you notice with the attribute here we open them with double quotes and we close them with double quotes, so when it encountered a double quote here it closed the attribute for us. So if I put a double quote here, then the attribute is now this little bit here. So I'm going to use single quotes for this JavaScript so that it doesn't interfere with our attribute. So I'll save this again and view it in a browser one last time. And we said that when we click one of these links, I think it was the top one, we should have that alert, so I'll do that now. And there we go, it's come up with the alert. And if I click OK, then it's going to load the page which it links to. So they're the three ways of adding JavaScript to our file. Like I said, don't concentrate on the JavaScript that I've done in itself. I'll do a course on that in the future. But just be aware of the different ways we can add it to our web page. So the takeaways from this are you can add it via the script tags, in which case I'd 99 times out of 100 recommend that you put that at the bottom of your body tag. We can do it via an external JavaScript file and link to that in the HTML document itself. And again, 99 times out of 100, put that at the bottom of your body tag. And the third way is by inline scripting, which I don't really recommend, but we can use it to kind of control certain events on a web page. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. If you have any questions whatsoever, don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to subscribe also, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.